everybody. Welcome to episode number 1 of
Yeah.
the Commercial Podcast.
Here we go.
Andrew Schallenberger, Jeff Nagy. We are commercial real estate agents at Atlanta Communities Real Estate Brokerage in Atlanta. Andrew?
Yeah.
How the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jeff?
I'm good.
Good.
So what are we doing here?
Well, between the two of us, we have over a decade of experience in commercial real estate. So we want to do a couple things. We want to educate other realtors, mainly residential agents who are in the business. We want to educate our own clients.
Yeah.
We want to tell what's going on, talk about some of our deals we're doing, give some advice, see some of the pitfalls that we come across, some of the successes. And
Not all in one episode.
Not all in one episode. Not this episode.
So there's more of us to come in the future.
Yeah.
But this is the first one. We just we want to take an opportunity to get our names and faces out there to people in our brokerage, to other residential agents, to other commercial agents, even those outside of our brokerage, and also, like Andrew mentioned, give our clients something to listen to if it's valuable to them. So over the course of time, we'll have a bunch of different topics. Today's just the intro. Give you an idea what we're talking about, what we plan on doing. I know we've already got our next episode planned. We're going to be sitting down with Mark Hall, who is president of Atlanta Communities. He mentioned to me when we were talking about doing the podcast, he just kind of wants to give his take on the differences in commercial and residential real estate. So that'll be a good conversation. That'll be on our next episode. For right now, we just want to talk about what commercial is. A lot of times you see the words potential commercial, or you see future commercial. Well, what does that mean? So commercial is the obvious. It's not residential, first of all. It's retail. It's industrial. It's office. It's multifamily. It's technically investment real estate. Could be redevelopment. There's probably more to it than that, but that's the gist of it. It's anything but residential. It's usually going to be a commercial type transaction. We are not jacks of all trades and masters of none. We do focus on certain things. Mm-hmm. My particular focus over the years has been in leasing, commercial leasing, both on the tenant and the landlord side. Also done quite a few purchases and sales of retail centers, industrial buildings, commercial land. Andrew?
Yeah, and I focus more on land development. We've done 2 wedding venues in the past year, so we're starting to get that as a little bit of a niche.
And those were sales, not
those were sales.
But
but we've got a lot of different projects in the works that we'd like to talk about, when we're allowed to in the future, and a lot of exciting things around Atlanta that we're going to be hopefully a part of still by the time this.
Yeah, that's the tricky part of commercial, right? You want to talk about things, but you can't always.
Yeah.
There's confidentiality that's involved with our clients, sometimes with municipalities. We have a lot of good ideas, and a lot of our clients do. We just can't really tell them everybody until they come to fruition, because maybe they won't, or maybe because of our conversation it won't. So we don't want to jeopardize anything there.
Right.
But once it's done, we can share the troubles that we went through. We can share the experiences, and that's what we're hoping to do over a course of time.
Yeah.
So Andrew, why'd you get into commercial real estate?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jeff. Well, I started obviously in residential at Keller Williams, and I think I was in the room with you, and I noticed in our meeting room there's 100 agents in there, and 2 of them were commercial. So I was like, well, I kind of want to be on the side that not a lot of people are in, and learn about it. So they just kind of excited me. It's every day is different. It's not the same kind of, not that residential is bad at all. It's great. But I like the excitement of doing something different every day, and the challenges that brings, and every deal is different. The timelines are different. The terminology is different. So it excited me in the beginning. So that's why I joined. What about you?
Pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
I come from my previous life in the business world, and I got into residential real estate, which was great. I met a lot of great people.
Yeah.
Learned a lot, but quickly realized that I'm more of a business-minded person. Residential real estate's emotional. It can get emotional. Now, so can commercial. But I've never had a client turn down a deal because they didn't like the color of the walls.
Yeah.
They didn't like the carpet, and it turned into me kind of revisiting why I wanted to be in real estate. I like to see wealth being built.
Yeah.
A lot of our clients are investors, and watching them You know, they put out a lot of money, but watching them get excited about that and see the returns they're going to get
Yeah.
on these deals, or they see that piece of property that turned into a shopping center,
Yeah.
or whatever it might be, that's just rewarding for me.
Yeah.
And to be able to, my kids mess with me a lot because we'll go down the street and I'll be like, oh, I sold that center, and I sold that building, you know. And I'm sure residential agents do it too.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I sold that house. That was my first house.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
fun.
it's exciting to me, and also the development side of it, which I don't do a lot of. You and I kind of work together on those, but being able to look at a piece of dirt
Yeah.
and then looking at what it's going to be, or what it could be, or what you're going to make it into.
Exactly.
I think that's just really cool. It's kind of like the new construction residential.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
or you get to see a piece of dirt that's going to be a residential neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're gonna create, not yourself, but you create the opportunity for 150 people to have a home.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to be a part of that.
Yeah. It's exciting.
So Andrew and I do a lot of our business through referrals. Not always just residential agents giving us a commercial transaction, but introducing us to people. Some commercial agents introducing us to other people, their clients.
Yeah.
Turn into opportunities. You've met people, you know, from church or from different places that just happen to turn into relationships.
Yeah.
Those turn into transactions.
Yeah.
Not always, but sometimes. Today and throughout this podcast, we really kind of want to speak to the agents out there, the residential agents, the other commercial agents within our brokerage, and then outside of our brokerage, anybody who takes the time to listen. We want to build relationships with those people. It's okay for commercial agents to work together.
Yeah.
You know, it's a protective industry. You got to protect your profits and your money.
Yeah.
But we've found that we can collaborate with others and make better money.
Yeah.
And get other opportunities.
Yeah. I'm glad you bring that up, Jeff, because there's a stigma to this industry that, you know, it's hard to get a commercial agent on the phone, and we don't want to be like that. We want to be a little bit more transparent. We want to show our cards, if you will, to other agents, because if we all work together, more deals are going to be done. And you have to have trust, and you have to work with people and know that they're not going to go behind your back. But, you know, if you feel that you need help or you need, you know, guidance working with a client, you can trust us that we're going to be there and help you and guide you through the process and not be out in it just for ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
And also that if we don't know what we're talking about, if this is a deal that, you know, maybe we've not experienced or we don't have the knowledge to do so, we're going to put you in the right hands.
Yep.
It's too dangerous for us to say we know things that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a lot of great calls with agents throughout this brokerage and others, and sometimes it ends with, I'm sorry, I'm not the right person.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a hard conversation to have, but I'm not willing to take that risk. Aside from that, we don't just take your referral and run.
Yeah.
You know, how many agents have we worked with 50-50 deals, or even sometimes, you know, just a different structure of how we all get paid, just make sure everybody gets paid for what they do.
Yeah. And we want you to be part of the transaction. If you want to learn, you should learn, and sometimes we learn together. Sometimes, you know, we can figure out how that looks, but we don't want to just take the referral and run. We want you to be a part of it. And so that's where I think that we can offer a lot of value to different agents.
Yeah, and there are others that just may not have the time. You know,
Yeah.
they don't have the time. They don't have to. It's a one-off deal. They're not going to get anything out of it. They just would rather us take over.
Yeah.
So we like to keep you informed on that as well. You know, stay in contact, even if you're not going to help. Just to let you know, hey, thanks again for sending me this person or this deal.
Yeah.
Here's where we're at. You know, here's when it might close, or it's not going to close at all, or whatever the update is. We want to try to keep you informed. So,
Yep.
hope that we do a good job of that with those of you that we already are working with or have worked with in the past. We want to continue doing that in the future.
Yep.
So,
Definitely.
But this podcast specifically, like, there's a few out there. Most of them are national podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of using this just as a platform to make a name for ourselves within the brokerage. We see where are my commercial agents posts on
Weekly.
Facebook,
Yeah.
weekly.
Yeah.
And we want you to stop asking that question.
Yeah.
We want you to know who we are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we hope to get our faces known to other commercial agents
Yeah.
within our brokerage and outside, just to let them know what we do and how we do it, in case you're not equipped to do the lead that you get or the deal that you get.
Yeah. Chances are, if you have a client looking for something, we may have what they're looking for, or vice versa.
We may. We did a deal this year, Andrew and I, that we just happened to get referred.
Yeah.
The seller and the buyer.
Yep.
And it was the weirdest thing because it was not a normal transaction. It was a real unique property, and we just happened to. He got referred the buyer. I got referred the seller 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
We had a conversation. It was like, oh, you have them looking for what?
Yeah.
Guess what I just got a referral for, right? So, and it worked out. And we kept the other referring agents part of it.
Yep.
So we all made some money on that deal, and it went pretty well. So there's all kinds of opportunities there. We just want to get to know you all, and we want you all to get to know us over however long this podcast lasts. Hopefully a couple hundred episodes, and maybe we can give Joe Rogan a run for his money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He'll probably have better guests.
Probably. Maybe.
Maybe. You never know.
I don't know. We've got Mark next, so that's
going
to
be Mark coming
yeah.
up. So we hope you watch. We hope you tune in. In the meantime, check us out. We are the SLT Commercial Real Estate Group. It's just Andrew and I right now.
www.sltre.com.
That's it.
Yep.
And Andrew or Jeff at sltre.com.
Yeah.
Look forward to sharing some good information with you.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.